What's up, guys? It's your boy Shady Mike Gaming, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be updating my NBA 2K25 slider set, and the main focus of this holiday season update is our new revamped MyNBA sliders. There were a lot of things that I wanted to address in the MyNBA game mode. That's why it took so long. Realistically, I wanted to have this out with the initial slider set, but that was not possible. I just didn't have the time to do all the testing that I needed to do. So we have completely revamped progression, trade, and injury sliders that will hopefully give us more accurate and realistic stats. I also want to take some time in this video to cover everything that we've updated in the set. So without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure you like the video and subscribe for more. And we'll have a quick walkthrough of our updated sliders. All right, so this is an extension or an update to my NBA 2K25 sliders that I've already released. I'll make sure the initial video with the initial slider set is in the description and in the pinned comment, so that way you guys can get to that video quickly to get all the additional information you'll need for the sliders and its application. But moral of the story, every aspect of this slider set, the sliders, the rosters, the MyNBA settings are all on 2K Share under #Shady, so they're easy to download. In today's video, I just want to talk about what's changed and what I've updated. I think the first and most important thing I want to talk about is the roster itself. So I have went in and updated my roster. I get a ton of, actually just too many to respond to, so I apologize. A ton of questions about what roster to use. Hey Shady, does this roster work? Does that roster work? Do you recommend that? The only roster that I recommend naturally is the roster that's included with the sliders. I've edited it in the way that it plays the best with the included sliders. However, if you make the changes that are included in the documentation with the sliders, you can use any roster with these sliders as long as you make the proper tendency and badge edits. If you go into these sliders with just any random roster, with guys using different philosophies and approaches, things will be a bit weird. So you can use whatever roster you want. I have the roster included, but I've also included all the details so that you guys can make the updates to the roster yourself. The reason I do that is, quite frankly, I don't always have time to go in and update the roster. I do it when I can, but I can't always do it. So that's why I give you guys all the tools, all the documentation, and how to edit the rosters. It's all there in the description of the initial slider set release. So I did just want to attack that and address that, because I was getting so many questions about people asking what roster to use. Use the roster that comes with the sliders for the best gameplay experience. The next thing that I wanted to talk about before we get into the actual changes in the MyNBA sliders was just some of the overall feedback for the sliders. Again, feedback for the sliders is phenomenal. The sliders are great. It's helping me enjoy the game. It's helping thousands of people enjoy the game. But I have gotten some feedback on the sliders, and what I want you all to take away is I really value the feedback from the community. It helps guide me in my development of everything that I do, but it's also, feedback is not the end all be all. I understand that there will be times where a plethora of people are seeing something, but that doesn't mean that it's not intentional or that I'm going to change it, if that makes sense. So I think one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I got for the sliders, first and foremost, a lot of people were just, I don't know, maybe perplexed or just, I don't know if shocked, but the defense of the sliders aren't very strong. It's not overly difficult to get to the rim with the sliders, and that is by design. I did this on purpose. I watch a lot of NBA basketball, and quite frankly, that was just the takeaway. It's not very difficult to get to the rim in the NBA, and I didn't feel like it should be overly difficult to get to the rim in 2K. Remember, I use the NBA as a gauge for everything that this slider set is about, and that's kind of the gameplay that I am seeking. So again, feel free, for the people that ask, like, okay, well, how can I adjust that for my set? Feel free to bump up the on-ball defense sliders to wherever you may feel comfortable with it at, but I'm very happy with where the defense is on the sliders. A lot of defense in today's NBA comes from double teams and helping and trapping and rotations, as opposed to just guys, hand checking and locking you down, Scottie Pippen, Gary Payton style. So that's what I was going for with this set. I think another one of the biggest I don't want to say criticism, but definitely complaints coming in was the amount of steals. I've seen guys have sent me and DM me box scores where the CPU has 25 steals, right? Moral of the story, guys, in the game, if you press L2, you will protect the ball, right? The CPU is very aggressive in the passing lanes. A lot of the lazy passes you're used to throwing with other slider sets and default 2K just simply don't work anymore. You have to think, if the CPU is in a passing lane, you can't just throw a pass by their face. Now, while people and plenty of people have messaged me about absurd steal numbers, I went back and looked at my last 4 games on the channel. I played against the Hawks. The Hawks had 4 steals against me. I played against the Lakers. They had 6 steals. I played against the Cavs. They had 9 steals. That was the high. I played against the Mavericks and they had 5 steals. So people aren't used to protecting the ball. That is something you do have to do with this slider set. You can't just dribble in front of people. You can't just throw bad passes. I understand it's an issue for a lot of people, but it's not an issue for me. And I did balance this slider set around my personal skill set. What I would suggest that you do if you are struggling is lower this steal slider. If you are getting ripped a lot, there's also a steal success slider. I gave every player in the league the interceptor badge so that when passes are just whizzing by guys' face, they're going to react to them. If you'd like to undo that change, feel free. But in the games that I've played, my steals have been directly at or even sometimes below the NBA average. I've gotten a lot of conversations about the game speed. Some people don't like the game speed at 60. One thing I didn't do a great job of in the initial slider set was I actually went into Adobe Premiere and ran like a stopwatch with 2K footage next to NBA footage, right? The game speed is accurate to NBA players in transition. Now, naturally, there isn't a dynamic game speed, but I wanted to capture the speed and explosiveness of NBA players in the open court. I personally am sick and tired of the slow and unathletic gameplay 2K has subjected us to over the years, so that is what the game speed is calibrated to. Now, again, this is completely personal preference. Again, I've gotten a lot of complaints about it, but feel free to put the game speed wherever you want. But for me, it's at 60 and that's where it's going to stay. I'm very happy with it. But, I always want to stress, like, you guys don't have to put everything exactly where I have it. Just feel free to put it wherever you'd like. But I'm not looking at lowering the game speed officially for the slider or set or anything like that. I get also, and this is the last one, I get a lot of questions about real shooting percentage versus shot timing. That's a non-starter for me, non-negotiable. The slider set is on real shooting percentage. So if you change it, feel free to, you can use whatever you want in your game. I just built the set around real shooting percentage. And I don't make any types of tweaks that will help. I can't guarantee basically the quality of the set if you're using a different shot type. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Some people have told me it does work. That's cool. I'm just saying I didn't test it, so I can't vouch for it, if that makes sense. Some reasoning behind that. Again, I know there's a lot of people who are new to the channel. You guys understand this channel's over like 13 years old, been using real shooting percentage the entire time. I think 1 year I switched, but I switched right back. 2K's implementation of shot timing is, in my opinion, has been so inconsistent over the years. I guess that my main takeaway, not to get into too in-depth of a rant, is I don't care about skill. I've had people comment like real shooting percentage takes no skill. It's not supposed to take skill. Steph Curry has the skill, right? I don't even understand what that means. Steph Curry has the skill. LeBron James has the skill. I want the NBA players to play like their counterparts. I shouldn't need skill to shoot threes with Steph Curry. It doesn't even make sense to me. So that, like, I want to emulate the NBA game. My skill should not help make, I don't know, Shaq be viable from 3-point or mid-range. No matter how good I am at timing a shot, I shouldn't be able to hit mid-range or 3-pointers with Shaq. And no matter how bad I am at the game, I shouldn't be shooting 1 of 15 from 3 from Steph. I say that, I do think Steph had a pretty bad game the other night, but I digress. The point is this is very intentional. I don't want the player's skill to be greatly impacting these games, especially when it comes to shooting, if that makes sense. I want guys to be able to hit the shots in the game that they hit in real life. That's why we use real shooting percentage, and we're going to be using that going forward here on the channel. So what's new with the MyNBA sliders? I went in and I just tweaked them. I just a lot of people are asking, like, why do this? I just got to be honest, I just really wasn't happy with specific parts of MyNBA, and I was trying to fix specific issues. The first issue that I was trying to fix is I just wanted more like stats in the hands of stars. Some of the feedback that I got, guys weren't averaging enough points, guys weren't getting enough assists, guys weren't getting enough rebounds. So I was trying to get more points and just more production from star level players. So that's what I'm focused on there, and we have definitely achieved that in this set. Another thing that I was trying to fix, I was just trying to balance out the salary cap. Guys, I need feedback on this. Please let me know how I did. I was just seeing like too many like high overall players go unsigned, and again, I fixed this. I did a very good job of it. I'm not saying it never happens, but I just there were times on default 2K you've got guys 83, 84, 85 overall sitting in free agency after the free agent pool. So I just wanted to kind of balance that out and kind of change the type of contracts that players were willing to take. Another thing is I tweaked the injuries pretty heavily. I don't want to see a lot of career-ending injuries, but the goal was I wanted to see more like nagging injuries. Oh, so-and-so is going to be out for 2 weeks. So-and-so is going to be limited for 3 games, right? Oh, he's got a turned ankle, stuff like that. That's what I went for. I want more injuries. I found on the default there were just way too many players playing 82 games. So we will see how we were able to do with this. From my testing, it was good. It got it to the point where now there's only there's very few people that actually play all of the games per year. And again, if you need to do like a little role play aspect of it, if someone's got a turned ankle and they're only missing 1 game, we can consider that load management or a rest day on the second part of a back-to-back. I know whether people like it or not, that's a big part of the league. It's a big part of the NBA. You're going to go into games on certain nights and you're going to be missing players. That is what it is, and I wanted to make sure that was reflected in the set. So again, that's all of the changes that I made in this video. Again, the sliders, the initial slider set and how to set everything up, I'll make sure that's linked in the description, in the pinned comment. Guys, thank you so much for the support on the channel. Hope everyone's having an awesome Christmas season. But other than that, y'all, it's your boy Shady Mike. I'm signing out. Peace. Threes.